Welcome to Kitch at Home. Today we will be doing things a bit differently. As you can probably tell, I'm sick. Well, now you're sure of it. I went to a movie with my mom, and the theater should have had a potential hazard sign up front because everyone was coughing through the whole thing. I didn't catch one word into the woods, but I hear it's mostly singing anyway. So, in the light of my excessive use of tissues, I will turn over the mic to someone with a wide knowledge of literature and an Irish accent. Bernard Black is with you today and will be acting as host in my place. Don't cry, I will be back at the end of the show. Now excuse me while I go eat a crate of Halls. It's all yours. Oh, by the way, your partner Manny should be around if you need any help. Okay, thank you. Off you go. Bye. Alright, seat of power here. I wonder what that is. Oh dear. Help! What's wrong? Oh, okay, that's what we call the on button. How does it work? It's already on. We're live. We're what? Live. Well, I should hope we're live. If we were dead, it would make broadcasting very difficult. I've got this now. Toodles. Okay, what's the first thing we do? Have a drink. Right, I got it. So, I don't know why I'm talking to all of you, because you're probably sitting at home after a long day pulling weeds from your 2-inch suburban garden, or feeding your kids to the local zoo animals. But nonetheless, we're here to entertain you, so let's get started. Our first guest is a Mr. Stephen Hawking. Sounds like an inventor of foot creams. But I hear he's really a professor at a prestigious university. And he's here today to talk to us a little bit about Tim. That's time. He's here to talk to us about time. Okay, I believe you're on the air, Mr. Hawking. Hello? Hello, is this Mr. Hawking? Yeah? Darn, I was hoping for Raquel Welch. Anyway, so you're here to talk to us about time. The thing with the hands and the numbers on the wall, you know. Days and months and years. Actually, time is only counted on a clock, and is inaccurate. Oh, I don't know, Professor. My wristwatch always keeps the correct time. It's never 1 minute too fast or 1 minute too slow. How do you know it's accurate if you only look at your wristwatch? Well, then, Pinocchio, how do you come up with a more accurate way of reading time? It's a very good question. I've been working on that. That must be really fancy math there. How do you calculate that out? At the moment, I've been using pretzel sticks. It's not very accurate, but they're fun to eat when you're done. Well, you must be the university cut-up here. I hear you have a new book? No, a new thesis paper. No, I heard it was a book. Well, in any case, I have a new book. You do? What's it about? My life. It's called A Brief History of Crime. You may have heard of it. No, but I'd get it copyrighted before someone steals your idea. Very good idea. Manny, make a note. I'm busy. What is it? Bernard! I know my name, thank you. Do you know who you're talking to? I have some idea. Do you know who you're talking to? Bernard. Very good. Gold star. Right here. Ow. So, Stephen, they're all fairy tale princes to me. What are you working on right now? What can you explain to us about time? Stop whining. It went right in my eye. Stop it. You're fine. You want me to put hot glue in your tea again? No. Actually, I was hoping to talk a bit about black holes. That reminds me. Very interesting subject, that. I went on this bender this one time, and she's talking about real black holes, like in space. You know, the beginning of time, stars, Big Bang, woo. I'm sorry, you'll have to forgive him. He's mentally ill. Plus, I found honey in my slippers this morning. I told you that wasn't me. It fell from the ceiling. So, right, the Big Bang. Tell us about it. There's a lot to the Big Bang. Some people still believe that it doesn't even exist. I know it does exist. Are you so certain? I'm very certain. It also reminds me of a bender I went on. You see, there's this girl, and she... Let Mr. Hawking talk. No, I think he's finished. Unless you tell me one scientific fact that's of relevance to my life, which I doubt you can do. Landis wrote an incredible thesis on black holes, the beginning of time. You know, why don't you two just go over to Nanny's salon and get your hair and your nails clipped? You could use a trim. Talk about all that cosmological rubbish, like wishing on shooting stars and yarn theory and all that. I think you mean string theory. Listen, Father Time, make like an atom and split. Oh, Bernard, let's not offend the physicist. He's not a physicist. Look at him, look. Sitting there under his hair, acting like he owns the world. You know, if you were a black hole and I was a particle, I'd escape from you. Bernard, do you think there are some particles that can escape a black hole? I did before I met you. It gives me something to think about, Professor Black. What? Did you just call me Professor Black? How nice. Manny, quick. Get the champagne. I'm a professor now. I helped Stephen Hawking solve something. Go on. Get the corkscrew. So your answer to everything. Alcohol. Shh. You going to offend Professor Hawking? Professor Hawking? friend? Master? Oh, he left. Oh well. Well, that was a very enlightening conversation. I think I could do that for a living, this interview thing. You know, I'm serious. I don't need you to do it for a living just the next 10 minutes. The next 10 what? Oh, God. What was that? Was that beer opening? No, it was seltzer. Haha, seltzer, eh? La Croix. What is that? It's sparkling water. Try some. No, don't get your grubby mouth on this. It's mine. So, our next guest is going to help us with a read-along. As you know, we deal in books here. Bernard, what story are you going to be reading to us today? You go count your pennies. Alright, so, let's see the index. Little Red Riding Hood. Here we go. Once upon a time, as all the fairy tales start out, there was a little girl. She had... Oh, right, this is far too detailed. So basically, there was a little girl. She had a red cape hood thing that she always wore. Her granny made it, gave it to her, and her granny fell sick. So the little girl's mother told her, put some stuff in a basket, good stuff, like booze and bread and cheese, and go into the forest, because, you know, the granny lives in the forest, everybody knows that, and and bring her that stuff, you know, to make her feel better, get her back on her feet. Whiskey actually does that for me, just an FYI. So, her grandmother lived in the woods. Very repetitive story this. About half an hour's walk away. When Little Red Riding Hood had only been walking a few minutes, a wolf came up to her. She didn't know what a wicked animal he was, so she wasn't afraid of him. Big mistake. Alright, so we have the wolf here, don't we, somewhere? Ah, yes, I've just arrived. Alright, well, come on, let's get cracking with this fairy tale stuff. Good morning, Little Red Riding Hood, said the wolf. We don't have Little Red Riding Hood. Manny, come here. What is it now? Come here, we need you to be a little girl. What? Read from there. No complaints. Thank you, wolf, and good morning to you. I'm sorry, I'm not... let me just get my voice. She does not sound like that. That's your problem. Alright, your turn. From where? Right here. Where are you going this early morning? Manny, to Granny's house. And what, may I ask, is in your basket? That's not what it says. But that's what I said when I met little... Oh. And what's in that basket of yours? Oi! Granny's not very well. So I'm taking her some cake and some wine. You can cut that short. We baked the cake yesterday and it's full of good things like flour and eggs will be good for her and make her feel better. Where does your granny live, Little Red Riding Hood? Well, I have to walk along the path till I come to 3 big oak trees, and there's her house behind a hedge of hazel bushes. It's not very far away, about 15 minutes walk, I suppose. You know the place? Bernard. Said Little Red Riding Hood. The wolf thought. Now, this dainty young thing looks a very tasty mouthful. She'll taste even better than that old woman. But if I'm careful, I'll be able to eat them both. That was seriously creepy. So, he walked along a while with Little Red Riding Hood, and then he said, Look at those flowers, Little Red Riding Hood. Aren't they lovely? The ones under the trees over there. Why don't you go closer so you can see them properly? And you seem as though you're walking to school. As serious and determined. You'll never hear the birds if you go along like that. It's so lovely in the wood. It's a shame to miss it all. It's a shame not to enjoy it. Snoot face. It's a shame not to enjoy it. Little Red Riding Hood looked where he was pointing, and then she saw the sunbeams dancing here and there. Oh God, this is going to take forever. Alright, skipping ahead. So she ran off the path, blah 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 blah. She knocked on the door. Who's there? For God's sake, not you two. Little Red Riding Hood, said the wolf. Wait a minute, this is a misprint. Wait a minute, I've got some cake and wine for you. Open the door. Oh, I get it now. I didn't skip far ahead enough. What's going on? Okay, so what is really happening in essence in the story at the moment is the wolf is going to eat the grandmother. Okay, jump ahead a few pages. From the top. She went to the bed and pulled open the curtains. This is Little Red Riding Hood now. Come to the house. There is a grandmother lying in her cap, pulled down and looking very strange. Bernard, I have a question. No, you don't. You only think you have a question. Come on, you're ruining it for all the children. I think the wolf might be doing that. You're very brave, and I know why. Because you have a beard and so much hair, you think I'd never dare eat you. Let's keep it civil, shall we? Read. Oh, Granny, what big ears you've got. All the better to hear you with. Granny, what big eyes you've got. All the better to see you with, my dear. And Granny, what big hands. Can't take it anymore. That's enough. What big everything he's got, she's got. It all sounds bad. In the end, you know, the wolf is sleeping there after the big meal he's just had. And yeah, so the huntsman comes by and he stabs the wolf, pulls out the little girl and does something else to the wolf to kill him. And then I think that's the end. Let me see here. Granny ate the cake and drank the wine. I am so with Granny at the moment. And Little Red Riding Hood thought, what a narrow escape. As long as I live, I'll never do that again. If Mother tells me to stay in the path, that's exactly what I'll do. The end. There will be no vows being took here. Well, fellas, that was lovely. Very touching. Here, count my pennies. So, I suppose you have some commentary, Mr. Wolf, at the end of this? I do have a few things to say. One of which is that none of that was true. At least, not entirely. I don't like how you say that. So you're gonna have to go. Thanks for stopping by. Next time we will be reading Cinderella. Was she in fact a princess, or was she in fact a peasant? Nobody knows. So that's it for today, kiddies. And next time we'll read about the girl with the magic shoes. But actually, if you with any woman, you'll know that at least 80 pairs of their 90 pairs of shoes are magic, and that's why they can't throw them out. It's also why they hold on to pairs of shoes that are no longer pairs. They just have the one, and it's so that, you know, if someone discovers the other one, then they might marry Prince. You know, if it fits on their foot. I don't know. I'm just trying to make sense out of something nonsensical.